Alright, people. Good morning, good night, good afternoon, whatever time it is for you. Put the good at the end of it. This was just on my mind. That's been affecting my life recently. And I think it's not. I'm trying to figure out the word to articulate this right now. But pretty much what I'm trying to get at is just learning to really forgive yourself and overcoming bad habits. And forgiving yourself too for fucking up. I think a lot of people shame themselves too much for failing. Failing is like the greatest thing ever because at least you can say, you've tried, you've gotten experience from it. You're never really losing. You're never really losing because you're gaining something to learn from something. And this is all situational as everyone's lives are different. And this is just an example from my own life. I bought a car to flip and it cost a lot of money. And I flipped it for a little bit, not as much as I'd like to, but I still gained something and learned something from it. So I think it's really important to never shame yourself for trying. People who shit on other people for trying, they suck. Those are miserable people. Miserable people. I think trying's a beautiful thing. You're putting forth effort. You're changing your identity. You're stepping into a new zone. You're stepping out of your comfort zone for something different. And trying different things is just small, but you take enough small steps and they lead to something big. But also, going back on the whole bad habits part, you build enough good habits and eventually they'll outweigh your bad ones. But it's also giving up your bad habits. I tend to be on my phone a lot. I notice my quality in life has been going down the more I'm on Instagram and social media. And I try catching myself falling into these bad things. And I think it's important to embrace who you want to become now instead of later because we tend to push things off. And where are we pushing it off to? Where tomorrow's never really here. Yesterday passed, the yesterday's gone. So we're always present, and I think it's important always staying present, even in the difficult times, which is another hard test. But just always staying present for yourself because you're nowhere really except where you are currently. So the best that you can do is do what you can now and take those small steps into the right direction. And don't shame yourself for trying to, or even falling back into bad habits, because it happens to myself too, where I'll be on track for a while, and then I'll do one fuck up, and before I used to be like, fuck, I used to beat myself up over it, and then the whole time I was beating myself up for it, over within a day or two or three or a week or even a month or how long it took to reset back. It's just stupid. It's backwards. It's not supportive, and I think it's just an old way of thinking. You should outgrow it, and this is my own 2 cents. This is what's currently going on with me and how I'm trying to figure out how to navigate my own shit. But I think you should never shame somebody or yourself. Always yourself. You gotta be super nice to yourself for trying, and for falling back into old habits. You gotta be able to forgive yourself too, because at the end of the day, we are all human. We're not perfect. Nobody in this world is perfect, and we fuck up. But the best thing that you can do is just learn to be better, and keep going on to the next thing, and just keep pushing yourself towards something greater or whatever you got going on. Push yourself towards that. And this is all situational. Everybody's lives are different. I think that's pretty much it. I just some of y'all gotta stop being so hard on yourselves. And I'm trying to tell that to myself every day too. And the days that I do go into a flow state where I'm easy on myself are the best days that I have. So it's just trying to continue those good days, where I'm in a good flow state. But it's also just taking the small steps every day, waking up on time, being grateful, eating good. There's a whole multitude of things that I could go on, but just generally, just taking care of yourself and being easy with yourself are such an important thing because, you only really have yourself at the end of the day. And some people might get lonely. Some people don't know how to handle the silence and the peace and the quietness, the stillness, This world nowadays is very overstimulating. It's there's just constant noise, And I think learning how to just sit in stillness, learning to sit in silence, learning to even be by yourself is such a powerful skill because not a lot of people can do that, I think it's beautiful if you can do that. It's something that I'm practicing, I've learned to love to just be by myself, to enjoy my own presence, I think it's pretty dope. I hang out with myself. And I still go out. I still go out and kick it with the homies and do stuff, But in the meantime, when life gets busy and it gets to be a lot, I think it's important to learn how to be still and to learn how to just take care of yourself, Because at the end of the day, you're the only one that's making this shit happen and keeping the whole life thing going forward. I think it's just. I think, man, I don't even know what to say. I'm out a lot of words. I've stunned myself with my own thinking too. But just going back on the alone part, I've always had to spend a lot of time alone growing up because of my situation, and it wasn't the best. And this is a whole nother conversation for a whole nother time. But where I'm at the spot now, I've learned being alone really isn't that bad. As long as you could take care of yourself and keep yourself busy with yourself. Being alone is cool, bro. It's if you got shit going for you, if you know what you like and you don't like and you know how to treat yourself, you're never really alone because you got yourself. I hear somebody drifting in the back right now. And they're getting pulled over right now. That's crazy. I think too many people use too many vices, too much noise because they don't know how to sit in stillness. I see people going out to the clubs. Not that I'm saying it's a bad thing. I love going out to the music and dancing and turning up, But that's all they know how to do. That's all they know how to regulate themselves, is just go out and numb and be on your phone and post for validation and constant noise, That's the only way that I can explain it. It's just constant noise, and you don't know how to be still. And I think if you can learn how to be still and calm your mind, I think great things just happen to come. You just know how to move more accordingly and just eat better in life, In the moments where it's busy for me, I try my best to keep myself still, to try to keep my head still in a good place, And the crazy part is it actually works too, The times where I fuck up and I dabble in this and dabble in that and do stupid shit, to say the least, My life gets a little discombobulated, to say the least, But in the moments I do take the time to be still and to read, to sit down, to be off my phone for a little bit, to cook for myself, clean up after myself, take care of myself, I just kind of emit like a different type of energy. And that's another thing too. Taking care of your energy is important. Um, Presence is important too. Not that I'm saying you should judge a book by cover, but unfortunately some people do. But if you can take care of your energy, which is your presence, that shows in the most beautiful ways. And you can even walk into rooms and people acknowledge you without even saying a word. And sometimes it happens to me when I have good days. I hold my head up high. I'm on a different type of standard for myself, which is super high. And it's a good day, and the energy is different. I think people can read that. And I think it's an important thing to take care of your energy. Taking care of yourself gives you, we'll just say, more pure energy. And people can read that. Animals can even read that. Babies can even read it. It's the weirdest shit ever, too. Because I even have babies, like, that'll come up to me. Keep in mind, I don't like kids. I fucking hate little babies. So, not like that. But, not like that. Not like that. I don't like kids. I don't know how to play with them. But they still come up to me. They talk to me. And it's fun, I go with it. I'm just trying to say I'm not a huge kid person. Not for now, not for me. But they still come up to me and they just try to just mingle and just baby talk or whatever. Um, and I think it just goes to show that something so pure as a baby, to say the least, can just read that and then they'll just come up to you. And other people can see that too. Other people with good energy kind of like gravitate towards you, like a moth to a flame. So just take care of your energy, bro. Take care of yourself. Learn how to be still. Learn how to be kind to yourself, because you really only got you at the end of the day. You have your family and stuff and your groups and stuff, but you know, in the moments of quietness and stillness, and even just turning off Instagram for the day and just sit there and then really think, like, am I cool with the chillness, And if you're, boom, great, that's fine, that's great. Keep it going. It's a powerful skill. But I think a lot of people rely too much on social media, myself included, but I'm learning how to negate that. But too much noise, man. That's all I can say. Too much noise, too much social media shit, too much validation going on there. And, it is an important tool, don't get me wrong, but also, like, live a life outside of that too, be a person outside of social media. um it's crazy because I see a lot of people nowadays, and I'm just like, who are you without your image online? Like, do you really take care of yourself like that? um and I could kind of read it too. I kind of see some people posting stuff, which it's cool. It's their live. um but then you got to ask yourself, like, who am I off of social media? And some people who, I don't know, whoever's watching this, sure, if you're not on social media, great, and you're living a life, boom, good for you. You're out of the rat race or the loop, to say the least, which I think is a good thing. But if you are struggling for Instagram shit, just take a day or two off of it. Ask yourself questions, and I think the best thing that you could do is just keep asking questions. Don't be afraid to speak up and talk and ask things. Because at the end of the day, any change you want to make has to come from confrontation and questioning, to the say the least. You have to ask, why is X, Y, and Z going a certain type of way, or why. Generally, just the question is, why is X causing the reaction, which is giving me Y result, to say the least, and plug it in for whatever situation you're in. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Just keep asking questions. Don't lose that curiosity. Don't lose that drive. Don't lose that hope. It's a hard world out here, to say the least. Crazy shit going on. I don't know, but you just do what the best you can do. never stop asking, never just stop questioning shit, you know? I think you're very entitled to um, know why certain things are the way they are, you know? And I think it's good to bring up things that are uncomfortable, or to confront things that make you feel uncomfortable, or to plug it into whatever situation you're using. This is my, like I keep saying, this is only my experience, you know? I've learned from my life and my own 2 cents that bringing up the bad things and talking about it and pushing through hard shit gives you a good shit, to say the least, you know? I've never stopped asking questions. I always wondered why life is a certain way and blah blah blah. I just I never stopped asking questions. I just wanted to know why. And I asked myself, how can I get better? How can I do better? How can I be a better person? A whole bunch of shit. There's a large plethora of things I could go on about that I can ask questions about, but just don't be afraid to ask questions. And generally, just don't be afraid. Fear ain't even real. Sometimes you just gotta go at it head first, confront whatever's making you feel uncomfortable, and push through it, you know? Never be fearful. I think in the Bible or some shit, I might be wrong, it says do not fear, you know? And that's real, you know? Too many people are guided by fear and shame. And you'd be surprised about the type of life you can live on the other side of fear if you can just have enough courage to just say fuck it and confront it, to say the least. And this is all situational. Everybody's lives are different. But the more you can push through it, it's a beautiful thing, and you get better at it the more you can push through it. It's anything in life is a muscle. You know, you develop it more as you use it more. You know, you use your brain for thinking, for calculating. You use your physical muscles in the gym, and they get bigger and stronger. You do anything in life, and it correlates almost to a muscle. It gets better and stronger the more you use it. So and this applies to the whole confrontation thing. You know, you only get better and stronger as a person the more you can do the hard things. And I think I'm just gonna leave it at that and just say, just do the hard things. Fuck it, why not? You can always go back to how you were. You can always go back to how shit is going. It's always going to be there, but at least try. Never shame yourself for trying. Be nice to yourself. And just go at it head first. That's all I can say. And I'm going to leave it at that. Have a good night. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good whatever you're doing. Make it good. If it's not good, reset yourself and make it good, bro. I don't know what to tell you. That's it.